and will become greater leaders in the shortest of time, according to the time of process, by God's grace. Tonight, we have our guest already in, but you would allow me acknowledge the presence of the visionary of Young Leaders Academy, PTA, as we popularly call him, Pastor Tuji Adeboyejo, is having a little hiccups with his network. He would have done this, and I'm just standing in by privilege to welcome the guest tonight. Our guest, Mr. KOLADE OMOTAYO, is an experienced mechanical engineer currently building reliable haulage business across Nigeria, Africa, and across the world. He has worked for several years in building services, telecom infrastructure constructions, design of building services, design of water treatment and supply systems, design of drainage, design of fire protection. Having been trained at the Institute of Piping, Engineering and Building Services in India, he is also skilled at piping design, pipe stress analysis. All these show you the technical know-how and the technical skills of our guest tonight. But much more than this, he is the founder of Octopus Star Petroleum and Haulage Limited. By the grace of God, he also works as a project director. He once worked as a project director for Whale Integrated Services Limited. He also worked as a site engineer for Eclipse Waves Technologies some years ago, and much more. Mr. KOLADE is gifted with the teaching, with teaching and coaching young leaders to become better versions of themselves. He's passionate about raising young leaders like you and I, and that is why tonight we have the privilege of having Mr. KOLADE OMOTAYO speak with us this evening on a very interesting topic that you and I must master. The topic is vision building and sharing. Vision building and sharing. YLA Young Leaders Academy 2021. Can you please welcome with me Mr. KOLADE OMOTAYO? You are very welcome, sir.
All right.
So please can you unmute, sir?
Yes, I've unmuted myself now. Are we hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir. Loud and clear.
All right. I was saying it's a great privilege to be here. I really want to thank my friend and brother, Pastor Tuji Adeboyejo, for this wonderful opportunity to bless God's people and to impact young people, what I call the next generation. My name again is KOLADE OMOTAYO. I'm sure you've been told my background. Hello?
We can hear you, sir. We can hear you very clear.
So you've been told my background. By God's grace, I started business as an undergraduate. By God's grace, I have about 22 years starting and running businesses, and at the same time, other organizations that are humanitarian in nature. In my university days, I was the president of Junior Chambers International. I was PRO, secretary, president, and all that. By God's grace, I also am an area pastor in this mission, and I was a former provincial youth pastor of Ondo Province 1. So let's cut the chase and get straight to business. I will desire that I'm granted the permission to share my screen. The moderator, please, can you grant me? Can you grant me? Can you grant me?
A minute, sir. I'm doing that. Yes, a minute, sir.
Yes, sir, you can go ahead and share the screen, sir.
Okay, share screen. All right. I'll share this. Okay. Are we seeing my screen?
Yes, sir, we can, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So I've been asked to speak to us about vision building and sharing the main vision casting. That's the normal word used for it. It's called vision casting. My name again is KOLADE OMOTAYO, and I've been asked to speak about vision building and vision casting. I'm sure you have seen my slides. We have so much noise. We have so much noise. Hello?
We are with you, sir.
All right. So, what is a vision? A vision is a statement. A vision statement is a statement that paints a clear picture of the future that is desired in a place, an organization, either for profit or not for profit. Everyone needs a vision statement. I'm sure many of us are RCCG members, and I'm sure within your first few months of being in the church, one way or the other, you become acquainted with our vision statement. And it's very clear, about 5 statements in all. That is exactly what a vision statement is. A statement that is able to paint to you and tell you exactly, where an organization is heading towards, the future they're pursuing, what their goals are like, in a very broad state, and how they intend to get there, not in detail, but the quality of the process by which they intend to employ to get there. The vision, Habakkuk 2 says, write down the vision, says, yet for an appointed time, it will speak. But I'd like to read to us a version of the scripture.
Please, I'm in the class, please.
I like the way it puts Habakkuk 2. Please hold on with me, please. Okay. Yeah. So I'll read to you Habakkuk 2 from verse 3 from New Living Translation. It says the vision is for a future time. It describes the end. It means the vision describes the end goal. So this vision is for a future time. It describes the end and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently for it. It will surely take place. It will not be delayed. Let me read to you Message version of that scripture. And God answered and said, write this, write what you see, write it out in big block letters so that it can be read on the run. Can you get that? That's interesting. Praise the Lord. Okay, sorry, we're not in church now. Okay, it says, write what you see, write it out in big block letters so that it can be read on the run. It can be read on the run. It can be read on the run. This vision message is a witness pointing to what's coming. It aches for the coming. It can hardly wait, and it doesn't lie. If it seems slow in coming, wait. It's on its way. It will come on the right time. I like to do that again. So I got back and said, write this. Write what you see. Meaning write your vision. What you're seeing. Vision means sight. So write what you see. Write it out in big block letters so that it can be read on the run. So a vision statement is a statement that is detailing and describing what the visionary has seen or what the visionary is seeing, and also to speak. They say, but make the vision very clear. That's what the scripture is saying there. They write it out in big block letters so that it can be read on the run, meaning that within a few minutes, anybody that has contact with that vision statement in a very short moment, in a very short while, is able to read and understand where you're going. So write it out in big block letters. So I'm reading from the Message version of Habakkuk 2, verse 2 to 3. So write it out in big block letters so that it can be read on the run. The vision message is a witness. It's a witness. The vision message is a witness to what you've seen. It's a witness to what is to come. So when they come, it tells everyone it's not a gamble. We didn't just arrive here by chance. Praise the Lord. So this just a message is a witness pointing to what's coming. It aches for coming. There is something about writing things down and fulfillment. There's a connection between writing things down and fulfillment. The aches for coming, it can hardly wait. It doesn't lie. If it seems slow in coming, it's on its way, it will come on the right time. That is what vision really is. Vision statement is, I put it here in the slide, a well-crafted vision statement is a concise and future-focused declaration of what a company or an organization stands for and what they aspire to be. That is what a vision statement is. It's concise, it's not too long. The message says that it can be read on the run. Maybe somebody jogging by your office, can see it. Somebody who breezes into your office can read it within just a minute. In fact, we call it election pitch, and it's 60 seconds. It's just 60 seconds. So it details, where you are going to from where you are right now. I have it in a slide here that it is vision building is to clearly paint the picture of a desired future. Let's call the chase. What are the features of a good vision statement? And then, the symbol we use here is vision building, meaning there's a process to it. There's a process to it. There's a process to vision building. All right. There's a process to it. Sorry. It's touch screen. All right. So there's a process to vision building. And so I want us to run through quickly what are the things that a good vision statement should have when building visions for some organizations. For most of us listening to me here, I'm sure you're working on either a startup, either for profit or not for profit. You're trying to start something, maybe a ministry or an NGO or a small business, whatever your goal is. This applies. But for big companies, vision building, when, for example, if Dangote wants to start a new business line, what they do is to gather their senior managers, and in some cases, they've done research, they've confirmed the feasibility of the idea. In some cases, they bring in also, their would-be customers to be part of the process of building the vision for the company. It's vision building for big companies is called strategic planning. Strategic planning entails a lot much more, but for the sake of this audience, I understand we're likely small business people, we're likely people working on startup ideas. So I wouldn't bother you with corporate jargons, so to speak. So let's look at what are the features of a vision statement. If you're trying to craft, for many of us, all we have to do right now is just to craft our own vision statement by ourselves after validating our ideas. I need to emphasize the importance of validating your ideas. As a common mistake, people just assume that, see, this idea of mine is marketable and there is need for it. And evidence abounds everywhere that it's not that way. It's not that way. Many ideas are good on paper, for them, or not as many people as required are willing to pay for them. So I ask that people validate their ideas first. Validate your ideas, conduct service. The people you're trying to sell the service to, talk to them, interview them. What are they want? What are they looking for? Is providing, all those things. Even for an NGO, these things are very valid. So after validation, trying to now craft your vision statement. These things are important to be in your vision statement. Number one, you must ensure that your vision statement you're crafting is very future focused. A vision statement is not about where you are right now. It's about where you want to end. Habakkuk 2 verse 3 says, write what you see. Say, write what you see. It says, this vision message is a witness pointing to what's coming. It's a statement about what you see coming. So it's a statement about where you want to be, what you want to become. So it's a future statement. It's a future focused statement. So a good vision statement is always aspirational. I have in the slide that way. They focus on the long term and they ask stakeholders. When I say stakeholders now, I mean your your teammates, meaning your staff or your partners, your customers, and in some cases, your investors. Your investors, people who will fund the idea. If it's big enough, you won't be able to go it alone. You need people who will fund the idea for you. So when I say stakeholders here, I mean your internal customers and your external customers. Your internal customers are your own staff or your own teammates. Your external customers are your investors and your customers. You need to convince your investor much more than anybody, that your vision is workable and is good, is big enough for them to invest in, and is worth their while. So I have it in my slide that sustainable vision statements are aspirational, they focus on long term, and ask stakeholders to see a future that they may or may not be in line with the present, that may or may not be in line with the present. Where you are right now may possibly be a very clear point at where you're going. And at times, it's where you are right now may be infinitesimal. In fact, may have no link to where you're going. I will share with you, for example, Nokia. Nokia started as a tire making company. Nokia was a tire making company. They were making rubbers, then they were making tires, and eventually they became a phone company. So at the beginning, if you had read the vision statement, it would have shown you that they're going to become a telecoms company, a big telecom company. But there would have been something that in the vision statement to show they were willing to pivot, into anything that's able to bring value for their stakeholders. So your vision statement must be focused on the long-term results, and it must make reference to where you are right now and where you're going to be. But the most important part of it, for most companies, they don't talk about where they are right now, all right? But while you're writing in your own book, it's good to know where you are. The slide before this, I think I have, okay, no, not this one. All right, current state and future state, where you are right now and where you're going to, all right? So for some places, for some people, they like to write down where they are right now, but this is where we are going to, all right? Number two, it must be concise. So be concise means, it's not too bogus. The best vision statements are simply stated and represent the essence of the company, its products, services, people, and market position. A good vision statement is simple. You don't need big grammars. You don't need big grammars. You just need to make it simple, make it easily understandable. Easily understandable. People must need to understand it. It mustn't be too long. Habakkuk 2:3 says somebody that is on the run is able to read it and get the essence of it. So it must be concise. Number three, a good vision statement must be strategic. They must be strategic. In fact, I advise this. Even when you're starting a what do you call it? Sole proprietorship business, when it's just you, a business name, you're registering a business name, it's not even a liability company, or you're registering. Now, Nigeria now allows for people to register a one-man company, meaning that you can have a board, you cannot register a company whereby you're the only promoter. Before now, the requirement of the law was a minimum of 2 people, so that you're able to form a board of directors. But today, by the act that was passed last year, it's now possible to register a limited liability company as just one person without having a partner. But this is what I advise. Either you are an individual, you're just the only person promoting this business right now. What I advise is that you should have, a group of advisors. And what I mean by that is that it can just be, you should try to look for 2 other people who you are able to share your ideas concerning the business with. And usually, they're like volunteers, your friends, your family members, your classmates, who shows interest in what you do, and all these kind of things. So I advise that you get people like that. So usually vision building is better when it's a team effort. I've attended some startup programs, incubation programs, and program. I've attended some, and one of the things that I've done in acceleration programs or incubation programs is to put people into small groups. And what you are asked to do in those small groups is to cross-fertilize your ideas, to check your ideas together. But you are measured greatly on how you participate in the team, how well you share your ideas, how well you receive criticism from other members of the, for a very open person, it's fantastic. You have other people. I remember one friend of mine, Victoria. She sits on the board of what? She sits on the board of I think is it Bank of the Bank of Agriculture. She sits on the board right now, and she sits on the board of over 20 other organizations as a director. But then she came to this incubation program, and honestly, she came forward with an idea. And the first evening, you need to see how people, were just punching holes in a plan, in an idea. But should I tell you what? The punching of those holes eventually led her to being able to refine her idea very well. And now that idea is very much scalable. So I advise that, you try to have at least 2 other friends who are like your advisors, who you brainstorm your idea with. Don't let it, when one of the reasons for failure is because it starts with you and ends with you. It is what you think, it's what you believe, even when you are incorrect. So I advise that people try to have at least 2 other people, the friends, not people you pay. And if better still for you, if you're able to have somebody who's ahead of you, somebody who's already in business, somebody already in that line of business, or even not in that line of business, or somebody's already ahead of you, that understands the business theory much more well. It's always better to have an advisor, to have 1 or 2 advisors better, so that you are able to have your ideas vetted, and not just vetted, there's a new level of brainstorming on what you're putting together. So like I told you earlier, a vision statement is a strategic statement. Vision statements are forward-looking. They should strategically position the company for achievement, both in short term and long term. So some people, some companies, normally a good company, if you have good management practice, a vision statement usually, is the product of what is called SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. A vision statement usually is or a strategic plan. The vision statement is more like just the 60-second summary of the strategic plan, for a business or for an organization. All right. So it should, and that analysis helps you to come up with workable strategies, and eventually tactics also to accomplish your goal. So it should be strategic. Make sure that it's really forward-looking, and it places your company in areas of advantage, or your organization in areas of advantage. For example, I'm into haulage business because I studied mechanical engineering. I have worked my hands so much on engines. I have worked my hands so much on diesel engines and all that. So I understand maintenance, and maintenance is one of the major problems for haulage businesses in Nigeria. You have quack mechanics everywhere. You have fake parts everywhere, and so much like that. So it was in outlining my strategy, my SWOT analysis. I understand that we have in-house strengths in doing anything that has to do automotive business, based on the body of knowledge that we have acquired over the time. Thank you very much. Next slide. I'm still going on features of a good vision statement. It must also be clear. I think we read it from Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3 also. Even though the vision statement is not meant to be specific, it must still not be ambiguous. Like I told you, I'm sure many of us understand what a strategic plan is. Your business plan is an example of a strategic plan. Your business plan is an example of a strategic plan. Your business plan, you have your SWOT analysis, you have your market analysis, you have your competitive analysis, your competitive analysis, all these things, just to be able to come up with a workable strategy. All right. So Sorry, this is disturbing my screen. Okay, I have the right place. So, like I said, the vision statement is like a summary. It's like a summary of your strategic plan. It's like a very short summary. So summaries don't go into details, all right? But then it must still not be ambiguous. I'll show you examples. Anyone reading your vision statement, either your employees or your shareholders or your customers, should be able to fully understand what the company stands for, what you do, and what are your core values. What do you really stand for? What is most important to you? Anybody reading it? We did that small statement because we're able to communicate what you are out to achieve, and in some cases, how you intend to achieve it. Number 5, it must be relatable. Oh, sorry, that's a bad spelling there. I mean relatable, meaning people should be able to relate with it. A well-positioned vision statement should inspire buy-in. You know, buy-in, you understand what I mean by buy-in, meaning that people should be able to accept it, people should be able to understand it, and it should be strong enough to want to make them to be part of it. To be part of it. And that is one thing we lack today. You know, many what I've seen in many new small business owners is they don't pay attention to being able to communicate what they want to do to other people. There have been people who came to me to, I'm sorry, without every sense of modesty, there have been people who came to me to ask for one form of help or the other concerning their business, either financial or to give them contacts or links or introduction or stuff like that. But then, you know, how can I introduce you to people when I don't even understand what you are doing? When you have been unable to convince me that that business is, you know, is bankable, you're not able to convince me that that business, you know, there are things you're looking for. You understand me? That's what you're looking for. So someone has not been able to convince me, you know, concerning those things about the business and wants me to introduce him or her to somebody, or to introduce him or her to a bank or whatever, you know, all these things. So it must be clear and it must be relatable. A well-positioned vision statement should inspire buy-in and commitment from the frontline employees, the teammates. For startups, for tech startups, I'm sure you all know that. For tech startups, the culture is that you must have a co-founder. Yes, you are the founder, you're the main founder, you're the one that came up with the idea, but you must have somebody, you know, within your team from the start. That's usually what is, you know, that's what people ask for generally. All right. So your co-founder, either you say you like it or not, you are an employee, he or she is also an employee. All right. So you must be able to get buy-in and coming from the frontline employees, including sales team. Okay, I've used big grammar here. All right, we not have the sales team for start. Who will bring it to life in the daily execution of strategic plans? Your customer-facing people. For example, when you have, let's take a practical scenario. You're planning to start a what do you?
Kindly bear with us. Our speaker is having challenges with network.
It's like there's so much network issues tonight. Mr. Murakinyo.
Yes, there is so much because a lot of people actually complain about the network. But I believe the YouTube channel is an alternative channel and people can go back to it later.
Okay. Okay. God will help us. Let me try and reach translator first. Let me see. Please bear with us. So many people were unable to join in. The network seems serious this way. Hello, everyone. Is somebody hearing me, please? I want to be sure.
Yes,
Hello.
we are with you.
I can hear you, sir.
Okay. Is our facilitator in here? Is at his own end? He's seeing himself in the room, but we can't see him here. I want to be sure that I'm not the only one that cannot see him.
I can't see him, sir.
Sir, he's not with us anymore. He should kindly leave, then rejoin, then join again.
Okay.
He's not visible here in the learning, sir.
Okay. Wow. Okay, let me communicate him. Oh, we can't see him. We can't hear him. Okay, I didn't care. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me just reach out to him again. Please bear with us. Okay, our guys is trying to come in now. It's trying to come in now. Let's just hold a little for him. Of course, we'll get the slide after now. We just want to, by the time we are done with all the sessions, we create a link for the slide so that we can just all access. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We have our facilitator in here now. Sorry for the network challenge. Sorry, sir. There's a serious network issues tonight. Some people have not been able to join. We have received the complaints on the WhatsApp. You are welcome back, sir. Would like to have your slide back. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay. Share screen. We should do it. All right. Okay, are we together now? Hello.
Hi, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Yes, sir. We are together.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I was discussing about the features of a good vision statement. I think you heard me to the point of it must be strategic. So I was talking about it being relatable. And I was talking about your frontline people. And I was saying that, see, no matter how small your business is, you must have a frontline person, a customer facing person, as young as your sales girl. You know, that teenager you hire as a sales girl, you must communicate your vision to them. I gave example of undergraduates that come to work for me during the holiday and how we paint the vision of a company to them such that, you know, we tell them that, see, if we do this together and we do it well, when you graduate from your university, you can always come back to me, the bigger company that's able to accommodate you at the new level you are, you know. So we said you should make sure that it's not just clear and concise, but it should be easy for each stakeholder to see where they fit in. Let everyone be able to see where they fit into the vision. Many companies tell their staff how they want to become big, you know, and how they want to become $1 billion company and all that. But the guy is always looking at you that, all right, if you become $1 billion company, it's for you now. You are the one that will get all the money. Where do I come in here? How does this make my life better? So make sure that, you know, your vision, you make them understand and you let them see where they fit in. I tell my customer facing staff they're the lowest in the rung of the organizational chart, but I let them know they are the most important. And as a matter of fact, I give them unfettered access to me anytime. They are the youngest. Sorry for the break. We're saying that you should make sure that your people are able to buy into it. Let them see where they fit into that vision. Let them see where they fit into the vision. You should also make sure that your vision is inspiring. Great vision statements and successful vision casting can inspire the team to keep their eyes on a noble purpose. Each stakeholder should be able to say, yes, I'm an important part of this, and this is something that matters. Everybody, your investor should see how important they are to that vision. Your staff should see how important they are to that vision. When I say your staff, I don't know until you have 10 people, 20 people working for you. From just that one sales girl, that teenager working for you, he or she must see how important he or she is to that vision. Like I've said, the customer-facing people, customer-facing person determines what happens to your business. If you spend all the money, in getting your shop very beautiful, if your sales girl has bad attitude, all your effort will be wasted. All right. Also make sure that it's shareable. Your vision statement, if it can be remembered, it can be shared. So when you have very lengthy vision statements that nobody can remember, it's useless. Make sure that it's, I've said earlier, it must be concise, it must be clear, it must be relatable. And by the way, I said to us, it means, make sure that they fit into it. Your stakeholders, how they fit into it. So for my own vision statement, I try to talk to my people that see, we are going to create wealth for everybody. For everybody. So make it relatable, make it clear, and make sure it's memorable, that people can remember it. Let it be memorable. And I'm going to soon discuss how to do all that. I'll explain that to us when I get to the conclusion part of this discussion. And make sure also that your vision statement is brand relevant. Now, many people make this mistake. They believe that because they are small, that because it's still very, very small, and they don't need to start working on their brand. That is wrong. You need to begin to build your brand. No matter how, from day one, you must be intentional about your brand, your messaging. Everything has to work together. You must be in accordance with your brand. I've seen many generic vision statements, that means next to nothing. So generic. Make sure your vision statement clearly connects not only to your marketplace, but also to your brand, how your brand serves that market. All right, I should admit this person. Make sure it connects, make sure that your vision statement connects to how your brand serves the market. Dangote is a good example of that. Someone was able to make people understand and believe that his own cement, the Dangote brand, stands for quality. And they came out with the 3X and all that. You understand? Lastly, make sure make sure it is supportable. Yes, I think it should be my last slide on this. Make sure it is supportable. When your vision statement is relatable, inspiring, empowering, and shareable, it becomes supportable. When people understand your vision, when it inspires them, if just a bit that tells the staff, that makes your staff understand that, see, we're creating wealth for ourselves. This wealth is going to be shared by everybody. So it's inspiring. It's inspiring. It empowers them. It becomes supportable when you have all that in place. It becomes a vision that all stakeholders can stand behind. Perhaps more importantly, it becomes a vision your sales team can proudly represent and actively promote. When I say a sales team now, I think I've explained that to you. I mean, your customer-facing person, either they are 5 or 1, it does not matter. Everyone, is talking to your customer on behalf of the company, on behalf of the business, on behalf of the organization, is a part of your sales team. Either you're for profit or not for profit. Even the gospel, we're selling it to people, although not for money, but for soul. Sorry. So in summary, if you can't describe your vision to someone in 5 minutes, which is even too long, I've told you earlier, The vision statement is like an elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is what you say in 60 seconds or less. In 60 seconds or less. So if you're unable to now even pass across what your brand, your company, or your organization is standing for, and convince somebody to buy into it in 5 minutes, then you have a lot of work to do. To remind you of important features of the vision, it must be imaginable, meaning it conveys a picture of what the future will look like. People should be able to see something in their head. Is desirable, appeals to a long-term interest of those who have the stake in that enterprise. And I still have told you, are your investors, those who can invest in your business, those who will buy from your business, and those who will work for your business. Make sure it appeals to their long-term interests. One problem that small businesses have is high staff turnover, because you are unable, while you are paying small salary, you can be able to communicate to your people and see we're paying small salary because we are earning small. Once we work well, this is our goal. In 2 years, for example, a small school, you're starting a crèche. In 2 years, we want to be able to have 50, what do you call it? I can't call the crèche people pupils. We want them to have 50 customers, for example. If you have 50 customers, those two people, the front desk person who receives the children and the 2 nurses or the 2 attendant assistants or whatever we call them, in the crèche itself who attend to the babies. We'll tell them that, see, if by the time we grow up to have 50 babies in this crèche, the salary will go from 30,000 to 50,000, because this will be how much we'll be earning by then. How much will be our bottom line by then. Somebody you have shared it so you understand that, see, if I work well, if I treat these babies well and they bring more babies to our crèche, my whole life is going to improve. All right? Let it be desirable. Let it be feasible also. Let your vision be realistic and attainable. Don't just paint a picture of, what may not be attainable for you. And maybe I should add this. The vision statement is subject to alteration over time. So don't paint a picture of 50 years' time. Paint a picture of where realistically you think you can be in 10 years. All right? In 10 years, in 15. Don't paint a picture of where you want to be in 50 years. When you get to the 10 years, that's why you see brands like First Bank always re-engineering their brand, changing their logo, changing and their brand direction and all that, because they have to change with the times. Union Bank is one of the latest that did that, and they used to be seen as a bank of old people, but today they are appealing to startups, to small business people, to salary earners, because they change their brand story. All right. Make sure that your vision statement is focused. Make sure it's clean enough. It's clear enough. Make sure it's clear enough to provide guidance in decision making, so that when you have to make decisions, when your people have to make decisions, for example, let's say I'm not around, my people, they have to make a decision between price and quality, between profit and quality. By my vision, I've shared with them. It's always that they must choose quality first. They must choose quality first. Quality first. All right. Hello, are you hearing me, please? If you are hearing me, please let me know.
Yes, sir. We are hearing you clearly, sir.
Hello.
We are hearing you clearly, sir.
You are loud and clear, sir.
Hello. If you are hearing me, kindly let me know, please.
We are hearing you clearly, sir.
Oh God.
We can hear you.
Hello.
From here. We can
If
hear
you are
you.
hearing me, can you let me know, please?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Yes, sir. We are hearing you, sir.
I can't hear anybody.
Oh.
Hello.
We can hear you, sir. We can hear you. Is this network challenge?
If you are hearing me, can you let me know?
We can hear you, sir. We can hear you. We can see your slide. We can see your video.
We are hearing you. Please go ahead. Thank you, sir.
Hello. Hello.
You are loud and clear, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Hello, slide. Wow.
Okay. Clinton Option, you can hear me. That's good. All right. I'm continuing. So what I'm saying is that make sure that everybody, they are able to understand your vision, that it even guides them when they're making decisions. Make sure it's flexible. It's general enough to allow individual initiative and responses. At that level, maybe I'll not be able to explain that well enough, but because I understand control is a major problem for small businesses. Control. Over here, we have a problem of pilferage, and very dishonest practices. So I understand flexibility. I understand that control is a major issue for most small businesses. But at the same time, just make sure you paint, a vision that allows trustworthy staff to be able to know what they can do, what they should be able to do on their own. All right, and make sure it's communicable. Make sure that it's very, very communicable. It's easy to communicate. In summary, the vision is a picture of the future with some definition and description on why people should strive to create that future. That is a statement from John P. Cotter. It is foresight. It is what you see beforehand, due to some knowledge you have, which is insight. Vision is due to a thought process, either by deduction or induction. It's always a product of deep thinking. And in all cases, vision statements are change drivers. If you have the pen and paper with you, I'd like you to write down these questions. When you're trying to craft your vision statement, these are questions to ask yourself and to get correct answers to, realistic answers to, not just what you think or what you feel. Where do you want the organization to go? Where do you see it in 5, 10, 10, 15 years from now? What can you realistically achieve based on the capacity you're building, or you have built already, you're building, or that you plan to build? What can you realistically achieve? What problems does your organization intend to solve? All these things are elements that should show your vision statement. Your vision statement should be able to tell me what you do, what problem you exist to solve. That's what the essence of the business. What are the changes you believe the organization can make for individuals? I'll also show you my own company vision statement. I say we power people's ideas. We sell fuel to them, and we give them transport to transport their business, their merchandise, or whatever it's them to transport. So we say we power their ideas. We move it for them. All right. So what are the changes we believe the organization can make for individuals, for the industry? How will things be different if vision is realized? If it's realized, I'll show you my own vision statement. You see what phrases or keywords describe the type of organization and outcome we want. Now, for phrases and keywords, I also always advise that accompanying your vision statement must be a core value statement. Here I show you examples of other vision statements. Ford. It's a the vision statement of Ford is people working together as a lean global enterprise. Lean means bureaucracy is reduced to the least. Even though it's a big organization, the bureaucracy, the chain of order for decisions to be made is very small. Very small. Whatever decision needs to be made, not more than 3 actions has to be taken for decision to be made. That's how you build. That's what ABM stands for. They say people working together as a lean global enterprise, meaning it's big, but yeah, it's lean. We are very swift in decision making, very swift in response to our customers. We're very, that's the meaning of all that. They say people working together as a lean global enterprise to make people's lives better through automotive and mobility leadership. Please, are we hearing me? If you're hearing me, please let me know on the chat box. If you're hearing me, please kindly let me know on the chat box. I don't want to just be audio. What's wrong with my audio again? The speaker is not working. Okay.
Hello, sir. We can hear you, sir. Please, kindly continue, sir.
If you are hearing me, let me know in the chat box, please. If you're hearing me, let me know, please. Okay, fire on start. That's cool. All right. So that's for four. So in fourth statement, you see all these elements. People, talking about the importance of the people. The people working together as a lean global enterprise to make people's lives better. The other stakeholder, their customers, you see, the customer, the vision is to build a global enterprise, and it is their own people that will build that global enterprise to make people's lives better. That is a customer through automotive and mobility leadership. Through what? She also shows what they do. What they do. Their people, shows their people, the one of their people. It shows where they are going to be a global enterprise. It shows who they are, how to serve people, how people are to them, and what they want to do for people, and what exactly they're going to do for the people. Dangote says to be a global leader in cement production, respected for the quality of our products and services, and for the way we conduct our business. But Dangote is important for ethic. Ethics is very important for Dangote, and that reflects, and I know of course I know the Dangote wants your court for fraud, but dismissed and you're prosecuted. They don't play with it. Once you're caught for fraud, you're dismissed and prosecuted. They don't play with it. They want ethical business. They want a business done ethically. Well, that's led to controversy, but then as what it was to be a global leader in cement production, creating respected and respect for the quality of our products and services. But for my own business, say to be a global enterprise, powering and moving ideas by providing energy mix. Right now we're just still at petroleum products, fossil fuels. But in there, we have the vision of doing solar, and the vision of doing other energy sources. That's why it's not just energy, providing energy mix. That's where we're going to. Right now, we're just on one product. But we're going to a place where we're able to provide energy mix. You understand? So we said to be a global enterprise, powering and moving ideas by providing energy mix and dependable logistics with excellence in all our processes and value creation for all our stakeholders. So we make it clear, we want to go global, we want to be big enough to be global. What are we out to do? We want to power and move people's ideas, your business. Your business is your idea, your ministry, when Brian Bronchi comes to town to hold crusade, the logistics involved is massive. It's massive. He can't do it alone. He needs companies like ours to help him. So we're powering and moving ideas. You have to move from place to place. If you're active, you have to move place to place. You need to get to places in a car. You need energy. Even if you're taking flights, you also need petroleum products to fly from place to place. So we're saying the powering and we're moving your ideas, by providing energy mix. And we still have services there. And how we want to render our services with excellence. And we intend to create value for all stakeholders, our employees, our investor, and our customer. We need to create value for them. So in our station, when you buy fuel, a liter is a liter. We don't cheat you. And I'll show you that in our core value statement. Our core value statement. All right. This is my company's core value statement. I have this in the slide here. It's always a good idea to accompany your vision statement with a core value statement, so that your team not only knows where you are going, but also how you intend to get there is important. They need to also understand that we're going here, we want to make profit, but not just anyhow, we want to make profit ethically. So this is my own company's core value statement. Number one, passion. So we are committed our heart and mind to company goals. Number two, integrity. We know what to do at all times. We know and do what is right at all times. We always do what is right. Number three, we say honesty. So we are always truthful and never cheating or stealing, from our customers or from the company. We don't do it. Number four, teamwork. We work together to meet needs of our customers and to help our company win. Number five, ownership. We'll always embrace opportunities to contribute. So if I'm not there,
and the most junior of staff knows what to do, knows this is not right, we don't do this in our company. And if you see somebody doing it, I've had instances of staff reporting themselves to me, and there was one guy that we planned to promote, and then somebody reported that guy to me, that he was being uncautious to our customer, and the lady was, the other junior staff, they're the same rank, was chastising him. And the guy said to the lady, is he your father's company? And it was a serious issue for the guy, because that statement we count that statement very, very outrageous. It's our company, we take ownership. How can you come and say it's their father's company? So we staff, they look out for each other, they look out to help each other, and they also correct each other. It's not only when I'm there that people correct each other, they are able to correct them, because this is what we stand for. Or that we don't do this here. And number 6, efficiency. So we constantly learn how to maximize results from resources. That's very important also, very important to us. We don't just want to just do it. We need to do it in record time. We need to do it well. We don't want to waste resources. We don't want to be doing trial by error and all that. So that's an example of the core value statement. You also need to communicate to your people or to your stakeholders, your customers. So when my customer comes in, they know that any impact. We have had one case of one person trying to cheat a customer. It was a customer that was pleading on our behalf immediately, not for us to not fire her. We don't just fire, we fire and prosecute, we fire and get them arrested. Once you catch you stealing from a customer, we don't joke with it. We don't joke with it. So your customers needs to know, like, see, in that small shop, see, they don't cheat people. Whatever you hear from them is the real deal. So now we're to in the second leg of the discussion, how to communicate your vision. Regardless of how great your vision statement is, its effectiveness is determined by how well it is communicated, especially through periods of change like COVID. It is crucial to keep the vision in front and at the center. It's very important. If you have a good vision and you don't know how to communicate it, it's of no use. It's of no use. All right. Please, if you're hearing me, I'd like to see a message from you to be sure you're still with me and you're hearing me clearly. If you're hearing me, please, I just need a sign from you from the chat box to know that you're with me and that you're hearing me clearly. All right, good. All right. I say no communication, no commitment. No commitment, no action. No communication, no commitment, no commitment, no action. If you don't tell people where you want to go, they won't follow you. The Maxwell says, anybody calls himself a leader and has no one following, he's only taking a stroll. No one following means nobody is ready to do what you're asking to be done. Having somebody is following, he says you're only taking a stroll, you're alone. Not doing anything, not leading anything. So this may sound obvious, but I'm sure of this, of how people are coming up with noble ideas, but because they have not shared with people, there's no buy-in and there's no support. For example, if you're a community leader, people want to know how you see the future before they decide if they like your ideas and you are worth following. They want to. A young man who has just finished from university, apply at your company. If you don't share where your company is going and it's worth its time. I once worked with somebody, a person I respect, he was my pastor, I respect tomorrow. But then, was not telling me the big ideas, that it's what for me to stay in that place. I can't work for the company. I wasn't getting that, so I left. That was my reason for leaving. I'm not sure that the company is wants to go as big as I want to. I'm not sure that the company wants to go as big as I want to. So, no commitment, no action. No commitment, no action. Your followers need to know where they are going in order to take action. You cannot do everything yourself. The best leaders know how to delegate effectively. Yeah. Communicating the vision not only provides you with followers, it also tells your followers where to aim. It tells them what to do. It tells them how to do it. That way makes it clear. We exist to produce quality cement. We exist to produce quality cement. That's clear. For my staff, excellence must be in everything you do. Must do things well. Don't cut corners. You must communicate that clearly to your people. Again, I say that a vision must make an emotional appeal. How to communicate your vision now? We need to run over. I understand our time is fast spent. A vision must make an emotional appeal as well as work intellectually and logically. For a person, I'm attracted to things that requires me to think. I follow leaders who think. I follow people who are deep. I don't like to follow shallow people. I don't like it. So if you must attract and keep good people, you must be able to communicate your vision. You must appeal to their emotions. They must be able to connect with you at an emotional level. And it must work for them intellectually and logically. It must make sense to them. One of the best ways to achieve this is to use personal stories, both your own and others. I do that a lot. I have one-on-one time with my staff regularly, and I gist them. I just tell them stories, where I started from, the things we have seen, the challenges we have seen, our wins. Just tell them, just gist to them and tell them all these things. In communicating your vision, you need to be self-aware. You need to understand your own emotion and that of the people you're communicating to. For example, you get somewhere, you're trying to communicate your vision to you're trying to tell your staff a story to just, your sales girl, trying to tell her a story to just, motivate her and make her be willing to stay all the way with you. And then you see that the girl is squeezing face and you don't care to ask what's wrong with you. You're not interested in her. You're not interested in what's
Wow, we lost him again. It's been a wonderful session. The network tonight has been somehow. Okay. Hello, everyone. Please unmute yourself. Let me hear from you. Comfort. Okay, it's coming in again. It's coming in again now. Okay, it's back in now. Network is back in now. Welcome, sir.
We should run over the next 15 minutes. All right. So I'm on this slide. So I was explaining about, you want to talk to your staff about your company, you want to do storytelling, and then this person is having stomach pain or has not eaten, or is having one particular thing that's worrying him or her, and you're unable to discover, you're not able to connect with him or her at that level, and discuss our own issue first and try to solve our own problem first. How can you think that person will listen to the story you want to tell about your company, about where you're going, about why you do certain way, why you can't certain things, why you must always do things this way? They will not listen. So you need to be very self-aware and understand the emotions of people around you. your stakeholders. If, for example, you're going to look for an investor and you get your investor's office and you meet him chastising his staff, that's not a good way to present anything. Just greet him. Hello, sir. I'm not going to say hi to you, although I came here to pitch to you, but I think I should come back some other time, sir. I think you're busy right now. I'll call you again and just take your leave. Come back again. Don't say good things at bad times. People need to understand what drives. You need to understand, people's emotions per time before you start talking anything to them at all. Church, anything at all, not about your own business. You understand what I'm saying? So people need to understand what drives their actions and why I think things matter. Without this understanding, they will be unable to communicate the vision effectively to others by making both an emotional and logical appeal. There is a way that I don't know if you have people here who have worked for corporates and how much you see how much big companies spend on what is called induction courses. The induction courses, is to let the new intakes into the company understand the vision, mission, and the strategic direction of the company. They lodge them in fantastic hotels. They give them the best of meals. They create a good environment for them so that they understand the vision of the company and they can buy into it. And one church that does that very well, while we're investing in those days, was Believers Love World. An average cell leader was like an archbishop leader. In those days, undergraduates, students can tell you what Pastor Chris would tell you about Believers Love World then. We're trying to achieve that today. Our business are available for everybody, but not how many people understand why we have to plant churches in 5 walking distance. It's in the vision statement. But how often do the pastors tell people? I'm just giving you another scenario. So you must be able to, meet people at an emotional level and they have a serious buy-in, very serious buy-in. Number 2, you must tell stories often. One of the best ways to communicate your vision is by stories, not by business jargons, not by charts. No, those are good for documentation and you send them mail, you share the slides to them, those are good. But what they remember the most at those times are the stories you tell them. I tell people the story of outside my own business. I tell them, you understand, tell them stories, they relate more with stories. Telling stories appeals to us at very deep levels. Telling the story of why the vision matters to you, create a narrative around the vision is important. Why things must be done this way, why we cannot afford to cut corners in our business. Create a narrative around it. Create a narrative around it. It helps you to connect emotionally. I'm sure there are some of you here that watch Z World. And when you watch Z World, some of you cry. The one and only time I watched Z World, I was just tearing up. That is the storyteller in those movies are able to write and connect with you in a way that you feel like you're in the place of the person you're watching. The story is captivating. You must be able to have narratives like that makes the vision sharing very captivating. Tell stories. How did you come to the business? What gave you the idea? What prompted the idea in the first place? How you were walking down the street and how you saw something and all that. How you met somebody? Tell a story. We connect a lot. And now that some of us are introverted, tell a story. Make others be able to pack. My connection is unstable. Please, if you can hear me, can you just put a yes in the chat, box? We're running on the next. We're having a problem already.
Okay. We lost him again. Okay. Tonight is so challenging. People are already getting out. Network. Mr. Morakio. Mr. Morakio. Wow. Okay. I think we lost him already on the platform again. Please, if you are still in air with me, let me hear you. Just unmute yourself. Mr. Bafemi is here. Adenike Astrov.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Some people should on their video. Let me see them. Daddy Adedoye.
Wadadi. Yeah, Wadadi, sir.
I celebrate you, sir.
Good evening,
Pastor
sir.
Bafemi, I celebrate you.
I celebrate
Wow,
more,
good to
sir.
see your face.
Thank you very much.
Good to see. Yes, sir. Okay. Who else am I not seeing? I can't see Adenike. Maybe your place is dark. Okay. Comfort, Pastor Moluabi. Okay. Okay. I think the network has been so challenging tonight. It's coming in again now. Maybe we're rounding up for us and then drop us with the slide so that we can go through it, because the slide is very rich.
Yes.
The slide is very, very rich. Very, very rich slide that we are having tonight. Okay, it's on board again now. It's like your network is having challenges. There's a lot of challenges on the network tonight everywhere. You're welcome back, sir.
Close the slide. Close it.
Pastor Adedoye, you are looking as if you are.
Okay, can we see my screen? Hello?
Yes, we can see the screen now. We can see the screen now.
All right. Okay. So we're discussing how to communicate your vision. All right. So we said make others be able to personalize your vision. All right. A vision that has to become present to others as well by telling your own story and being open about the importance of this vision to you, both intellectually and emotionally. You encourage others to explain their stories too. Honestly, I don't know how to get this across to you. I have people in both church and in my business that will do anything for me. They will do anything for me. We've been able to establish connection at a very deep level. But by the grace of God, what's happening to this slide?
We can hear you, Sal. I think we have to call it a day. It's like network is so bad. I'll just communicate in, we'll get the slide, and then we'll roll it. We are so sorry for the network issues. Thank you for being a part tonight. We meet again next week. For those who are still on, we will just hang on. Maybe you will still join in. I don't know. So, but if you can't hang on again, you can please log out. The network has been so bad. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Murakio.
Yes, sir. I'm with you, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Yes, sir.
It's like the network is so serious this night.
So it's coming back already.
It's already coming back.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's already coming back. So,
if you can just manage to conclude the slide, then people can
okay.
over again through the YouTube channel. So.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So is break. I don't understand the reason why.
Yes, it's network. Sorry, sir. So, okay.
We should wrap up a few minutes now, please. I really apologize for the break. All right. So, we said make others personalize, communicate it through stories and listen to the people's stories also. Sharing stories creates a powerful connection between individuals and between individuals and ideas. The story behind the brands, the powerful brands that you remember, they told a story to you. And, for many of them also, they're trying to tell your own story. They're trying to tell your own story. You see a bank showing in the press, he's struggling with his business. For example, that advert from bank, is it Bank of Industry? Yes, I think Bank of not Bank of Industry. Sorry, I'm going to remember it now. This new development bank, the brand is greenish. Why did this keep me? This new development bank from the federal government, that bank not necessarily gives loans to manufacturers, but this ones that give loans to everybody. I've forgotten the name now. DBN, Development Bank of Nigeria. DBN, Development Bank of Nigeria. They had that. They showed a cobbler was having issues with this machine. They showed people that were hustling. They're telling those people's story. So it's easy for them to connect. GT has done their own version, so that's how brands are connecting with people, telling not just their own story to them, but also hearing their own stories from other people to the world and projecting it, listening to their own stories and projecting their stories. Today, the best of hearts are telling the story that people can relate to. So make others be able to personalize your brand story. The golden rule of communication. It is impossible to over-communicate your vision. Let that be in you. You will never come to that point that you talk too much about your brand. Leaders need to talk about and communicate their vision constantly. This is one reason why you really need to be passionate about it. You are going to need to talk about it a lot, and you need to be able to stay enthusiastic. If you are not that interested, nobody else will be either. If you're not fired up when you discuss about your brand, about your plans for the future, about what you see, if you're not fired up about it, let's face this. The difference between good preachers and bad preachers is just passion. Honestly, anybody who sits down to write something down to tell somebody is sharing information. A good message is sharing, a new knowledge. You're sharing information. But why we like to sit down with some more than the others is because of the passion with which they're doing it. The passion in it. So make sure you're talking about your vision. You cannot stop talking it. You cannot stop talking it. I think that's the end of my presentation. And yeah, I said always measure and remodel, meaning always get feedback. The vision can always be rewritten as you are evolving. As you are evolving, all of the things you're writing down are idealistic. Really, you don't have a board of advisors who give you real feedback. But you're writing idealistic. As you get into the business, your eyes will be open or into the whatever you're doing, either for profit or not for profit. Your eyes will be more open to the realities in the industry, to the realities on ground. And so you are free to always go back and rewrite. Bigger companies have done that. Facebook have done that over time. In fact, Dangote's vision separator on that site was what started with. Dangote Cement, they've changed it also. Union Bank, GT, all of them are trying to tell new brand stories. Zenith Bank in those days, I remember in those days, when we tried to open an account with Zenith Bank and Advocate. The money had told us, we're not looking at 20,000. You understand? They made it clear they were not small people bank. To open a current account in Zenith Bank in those days, you carry like the amount of money. While some were doing zero, but today they are doing zero account opening balance. You can open an account, current account, or anything. You have an account with zero in your account. But in those days, they used to say that they are big men bank. But that has changed today. FinTech has changed that today. Anybody that does that now will lose out completely. So make sure you are your measuring, measure and remodel. Measure and remodel. The strategic vision, make sure you also have with it key performance indicators. This our big goal. How do you measure the performance along the line? And when you see things that you have to change again, that's what I call strategic moves. Make sure you make the necessary changes you need to make, and then create value. Create value for your employees. When you make more money, you're able to pay them better. You have to give them leaves. You're able to give them travel. For your shareholders, they're bringing much more profit. Those who invested.
Pastor Benga Adedoyi.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. I think tonight is challenging for us. We need to,
Yes, sir.
yes, we need to just end. So we work more on this later. Yes. Have a wonderful night, Pastor. Pastor Bafin. Thank you for staying this long. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good night.